What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today in this video, guys, I want to talk to you guys about why some of these Gen Zero heroes literally sell for almost over 50 G's, and some will actually sell for over $100,000. Now, you guys see this price in Jewel. This is just a listing price. But just so you guys can understand, some of these things literally sell in upwards of over $100,000. So why do some of these Gen Zero heroes sell for such a premium? I mean, why are they even stinking at the floor price? Why is it selling at $50,000? Let's go ahead and explain to you guys why these heroes are selling for what they are. In fact, I had to do some digging because I was like, what the snap, dude? Why are these stinking little JPEGs of like a little card selling for so much money? After I did the research, some of these I'm asking myself, why are these selling so cheap? Of course, guys, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I want to explain to you guys a couple of things you guys can understand with this game. Now, the biggest thing you need to understand where these heroes are getting their value, especially with the Gen Zeros, is the summoning capabilities. If you guys go into they have a little nifty tool. It's on DFK Tavern. I'll leave a link in the description below so you guys can check it out. But this chart, just go ahead and pin this on your fridge. When you're summoning, your goal is to get this Dread Knight. Why do you want the Dread Knight? Well, the floor on a Dread Knight right now, there's only 3 of them for sale. And this is a common. When I say common is like weak sauce card. Like, it is just like, oh, you got a common? Pfft, bro, you on that common life. Forget that junk. No, there are different tiers. There's common, uncommon, there's rare, there's legendary, and there's mythic. I mean, dude, look at those swords. Like, what the snap? Mythic are super hard to get. Let me show you guys the chart so you guys can see how hard it is. So, if I'm minting from a common card, out of 200 summons, there's a 1 in 200 chance that I get a mythic card. It's not saying it's going to be a Dragoon. It's not saying it's going to be a Sage. It's not saying it's going to be a Dread Knight. That's just saying for the card in general, I will get that mythic card. Now, of course, if you're minting from an uncommon, I have a 1 in 100. If you're minting from a rare, it's about it's close to 1 in 50, but it's a little less than that. And legendaries, it's a little over 1 in 50. And with minting from a mythic card, I have over a 1 in 30, actually 1 in 30 chance, more than that. So pretty interesting to understand that. But keep in mind, this is just for determining rarity. Now, I know this doesn't sound like any jibber jabber, but let me just show you some numbers so you guys can understand what you're dealing with. If we go to these Gen Zero hero prices, we're just going to start. This is the floor right now. It's 6,100 Jewel. And these things actually sell. Like, it is not just like, oh, well, this is the number. This is what it is. No, if you go on the tavern, the DFK Tavern, which is this, it'll actually have a list of the recent sales. And you can actually see them as they go, like live action, like see them sell. And I've tried it personally myself. Not the Zero, but a Generation 1, it actually sells. Like, they sell. It's crazy. And once you get the drug, it's like, what the snap? I need more. It's crazy. So, guys, I'll explain it to you like this. You have commons and uncommons. Those are okay cards, and you guys can see why. With the commons and uncommons over here, they don't mint as well. And, of course, you have the rare and legendaries and mythics, and those are okay. But you're like, okay, well, that's just summoning. So what's so special about having a rare card? Well, the mythics, they can have boosted stats. So the mythics will always be stronger than a common or a uncommon, a rare, or a legendary. What do I mean by this? Well, if you have one card that, let's just say it's a pirate, and the other card is a pirate, and they get to level 100, the mythic is going to be stronger because it has boosted stats. In fact, it'll be about 40% stronger than the common card would be. So that is the value in the mythic card, regardless of if it's all the summonings are gone or if it has the summonings. But the reason people are paying this value is for the summons. let's go ahead and show you guys a couple of renting prices. This is just for summoning. So if I wanted to use this card once, I would have to pay over 260 Joule for this. How much is that in today's terms? Well, if Joule is trading at about $7.50, that's going to set you back at least $2,200 just to rent this. Guys, I'm saying rent, not buy, rent. And this is a Gen 6 card. Now let's go and crank down the numbers and let's do a Generation 2. Like, I mean, why not? I mean, hey, Generation 6, those are cool. Let's go ahead and filter it to Generation 2. Like, what's the difference in price? I mean, can't be that much different. You want to shoot for like the 1 in 50 or like 1 in 80. Yeah, I mean, why not? So let's go ahead and see what these numbers are. Wow. So the only card we can rent right now is a rare. And we can rent that for 650 Joule and then pay a summon fee of 26. What the snap, dude? That's like $6,000. Okay. Now, that is just renting it. That's after you rent the card, they use your summon, and now what? Oh, well, you still have the card. You can use it for quests. You can use it for trading. You could still use the card itself. It's still an elite card. So after the Sage uses its summon, whatever, what is the floor price of a Sage after the summon is used? Well, let's go ahead and look. This is a Generation 1. So how about we do everything relative? Let's go ahead and look at a rare card. We'll just use the rare card because everything's equal, right? We got to do rare. And yeah, we'll go ahead and throw in some mythic. Why not? We'll make it spicy. And we'll do Generation 2 because we can. We'll just do Generation 2 because that's what we're comparing, apples to apples. So if we look at the used cards are selling at $349, $350, and $1,000. Wait, why is that selling for 1,000 Joule when the other ones are $350? I mean, this is a used card. Like, you can't use the summon. So basically, TLDR on this is this guy already got juiced. He already got like the $7,000 for basically renting the card out. So he already got that money, and now he's selling it for 1,000 Joule. I'm not saying he's going to sell it or not saying he is selling it, but why is this Sage selling for so much? Well, you need to flip the card. Let's see what's on the card. Okay, well, it says fishing. Fishing and wisdom. Is that anything special? Let's go ahead and go to the DFK chart, okay? So we're going to go to fishing and wisdom for the Sage, right? We're dealing with the Sage. So we're going to go up to these numbers, and as you can see, we have fishing, and it's for the Sage. So the Sage is actually pretty good at fishing. It's not amazing. The Sage is one of those things, like, it's good at a couple of things, but it's not really a master of one. So it's basically a jack of all trades and a master of none. It is what it is. So let's use a Paladin, for example. Again, guys, I'm going to use a couple of examples so you can break down these numbers and understand what you're dealing with. So let's go ahead and do a Paladin. The Paladin is going to be about the same exact rent price. Go ahead and use the Dragoon because the Sage, Dragoon, these two are the same. I'll explain this chart later so you guys can see what I'm talking about, but you want this Dread Knight. The Dread Knight, that's 4,400 Joule. And how much is that in dollar terms? Just about $40,000. So, hey, why not? $40,000. Now you guys can understand why people are getting these Gen Zeros. Because the Gen Zeros, they allow infinite minting. So I can mint and make as many attempts as I want to get this quote-unquote ninja and then rent a summoner and go for the Sage and so on. Because I have a Gen Zero. The Gen Zero is the only one that does that. That's why the floor price on the Gen Zero is 6,100 Joule, which is about $50,000. Just about. And basically, if I mint a Dread Knight out of that Gen Zero, or let's just say I mint 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it doesn't matter. I can mint as many as I want because these go infinite. This is where the value is coming from because I can summon as many times as I want. Now the Generation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they cannot do that. As you can see here, this is the summoning cost per hero of Joule. And you can see the Generation 1, the max they can do is 10. Now let me go back to the point with the Dragoon so you guys can understand this part before I go off into a tangent. With the Dragoon, this is similar to the Sage because you either own the Sage and rent the Dragoon, or you own the Dragoon and rent the Sage, because you got to make the Dread Knight. The only way to make the Dread Knight is you have to have these two parents. So you can say the Dragoon is, well, similar. So what is the Dragoon specialized in? Let's look. So we got the Dragoon, which is okay at foraging, but it's really good at mining. So let's go and see what the value of the Dragoon is, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Dragoon, and we are going to say the attributes. We're going to select mining. So we got the mining, we got Dragoon, and we're going to do rare to mythic, and we'll say let's do 3 generations because we mainly want to see the price of generation 1 and 2. Well, it looks like it doesn't even exist. So actually, better yet, let's just go to generation 11, see if we can get some. Okay, the floor price on a used Dragoon, like the summon is already used, is $2,000. This is after it's used, okay? Now, if you scroll down, like that's after it's used. If you haven't used it, you can get 3,900. I mean, there's only 3 of these. I can't even scroll down. That's for rare. Let's just see what the prices of a common go for. Of course, these are after it's used. This is a generation 5. You know, this is like after pairing 2 generation 4s together, and it's pretty cheap to summon. I mean, it's not super cheap, but I mean, everything's relative. Like you can rent them for cheaper. And you can see you can get about 300 joules out of these. These are Gen 6, Gen 3, Gen 5. These are all used. They aren't virgins anymore. Let's go ahead and look for the virgins. Where's the... Wow. 2,300 for that virgin. Let's make sure it's mining, though. Is it mining? Boom. It's mining. So this is a mining one. The reason why it draws for so much more is because mining is its specialty. If you go back to this chart, you can see right here, mining. And then if we have strength and endurance, that'll even boost it more. So the Dragoon is basically the best at mining out of all these. So it's okay at gardening. Foraging, it's a little bit better. And fishing, it's okay. But I want strength and endurance boosted now. So why is this one selling at... I haven't even looked, so I can't even tell you. I'm just going to go and guess, and we'll see what happens. This one's selling at 2,300. And if we look, we can see, we're going to flip the card. What is boosted on here? So intelligence and endurance is boosted. What do we need boosted? We need the strength and endurance boosted. That's good that the endurance is boosted, but we needed the strength. So let's go and see the second price of the other Dragoon, which is this one. And also note that it has 3 summons instead of just 1. If you go here and look, this one only has 1 summon and it's selling for 2,300. This one has 3 summons and it's a generation 4. So let's go ahead and see what the tiers are. So it has endurance and it has strength. Look at that. Boosted endurance, and it's a really, well, a strong card because it has strength. This one has 11. This one has 12. It has a better boost. So this card is going to be a money maker because it's a miner. So first you have the quote unquote summoning. So this basically can produce you 3 babies, or it has 3 chances to pop you out a what? Well, a Dread Knight. It has 3 chances to do that. If you pop out a Dread Knight, that's a 40G payday. Now, that's just for a common card. Say you get a mythic Dread Knight. We're talking about a common card for 40Gs. With a mythic, who knows what the price is? There's none out there. There's no one listing them. That is why people want this Dread Knight. Everyone's holding them. Now, if we go back to these tiers, after you mint the card, what is this worth when it's basically all used up? Well, if you have a miner that's good with strength and endurance, let's just use this for an example. 2Gs, okay? I don't even know if it has good strength and endurance. Let's see. Boosted. There. It has boosted strength and it has okay endurance and it's mining. So $2,000 for a card that's already been used, aka you had a chance to get a Dragoon, and this is generation 5. This one right here, this one is a generation 4. So just something to keep in mind. If this was a generation 4, what would it sell for? And if it was a rare? Obviously the common cards, they sell for less because they on that common level. Common's okay, but Depends on what you're looking to do. Do you want to like collect a bunch of cards and have a bunch of common cards? Or do you want a couple of cards that are extremely valuable? That's why people like the Holo Edition Charizard. Just so you guys can understand that. So as you guys can see here, these are literally floor prices to a Generation 5, Generation 3, Generation 6. These are like, these are crazy floor prices. They've already been used, so they can't make babies. And when I say babies, they cannot be used to summon. So literally the only thing you can do with these is quest with them. But I mean, people are speculating with the mining and having, look, this card, no offense, but this card is okay strength and okay endurance, but its boosted stats are dexterity and intelligence. So it needs to have endurance and strength, because if we go back to the charts, you guys can see here, mining, strength, and endurance. This is what you look for. I know that went over a lot of everyone's heads, but I want to explain it like this. A card is not a card is not a card. This information is important to understand, because if you know the information, you can use it to be able to make a lot with the system. If people knew all this information and understood it, it wouldn't be easy to make money with it. A lot of people don't understand this. This is why I'm trying to break it down to you. Again, you got to understand it like this. If you want to get a miner, you want to look for a Paladin that has strength and endurance boosted, because that's going to be the best of the best that you can get. The Paladin has strength and endurance, and it's a miner. You want a miner because you can send them out questing, and if you have a bunch of locked jewel, you can use that to unlock jewel. Now with the gardening, you want a sage that has boosted wisdom and vitality. If you have boosted wisdom and vitality and it's gardening, you can sell it, because you can also pair this sage, like if it has some summons, you can pair that sage with what? A Dragoon. And you can have the chance to get a Dread Knight. But say you waste it all, you use it all, it's whatever. You can still use it to make you money, as long as it's got boosted wisdom and vitality for gardening. Now, let me break this down. I know you guys are like, okay, what's so special about the boost? Well, when you quest, your guy has how many staminas? Well, it depends on the level. Now, the quests, they normally take 5 stamina, as long as you're specialized in that task. So if my guy is good at gardening, and I send him out into the quest to go garden, it will use 5 stamina. So I can basically quest, if I have 25 stamina, 5 times. So that means I have a chance to get items 5 different times. And you can get some valuable items. Like the Shavas rune, a lot of people are speculating on that. If you get one, well, they're worth like 80 bucks now. So it's basically just sending your guy off into the forest and finding you 80 bucks. And if you have a bunch of these guys doing it, how many times do you have to do that to make some money? Just something to keep in mind. Same thing with mining. You have a bunch of miners and you have, let's say you have 50,000 locked jewel or 100,000 locked jewel. You can only unlock it so fast. So you need more guys to do this. So you just send them off on the quest, go mine, bring you back some jewel, and you can sell the jewel for profits. You can do what you want with it, because those jewels are locked. We know what the price is now, but what's it going to be in the future? No one knows. That's where these heroes' values are coming from. Now, I know you guys are probably like, okay, well, a card is a card is a card is a card. No, a card is not a card is not a card. Obviously, you can see that on the prices, and they sell for more. The biggest thing you need to understand is, okay, if Gen 0 heroes are selling for almost $50,000, that is a huge barrier to entry. So how am I supposed to get in? Well, what's the next level? Let's go and look at the Generation 1s. We'll just use common to uncommon. We'll do the whole thing, and we'll just do all of the classes, because that's what we'll do, so we can see what it is. And of course, we got to do all attributes so we can see what the prices are. So if you look at the Generation 1, we're doing all attributes. We're just doing Generation 1s, and we need to look for the summons, because we want to play the summoning game so we can summon our Generation 2s and sell them. Remember, they were selling at a floor of what? Well, some were selling like 300 jewel after they've already been used, like the summons are gone. Some actually sold for more, especially if you got the correct type. Now, when I say correct type, I mean this. The correct type is, if I have a Paladin, I want him to have a mining as primary as well as a boosted strength and endurance. So if I go to the cards, this is a knight. The knight, I want him to be good at what? So we go back to our chart. You can see the knight is good at mining. So we want a knight that is strong with mining as well as good strength and endurance. So if we go to the knight, okay, knight 1. Common, it's okay. But it's a generation 1. And it also doesn't have any summons, so it's kind of doo-doo squirt. I mean, it's got 3, but it's not so bueno. It's got good strength. It's got fishing. Ah, man, no bueno. That's why it's 63. Now, if you go ahead and submit the attributes for just, let's go ahead and do for mining, and we're just going to do the knights. We're going to show you guys everything relative, like everything compared. So let's do the knight. Let's do, remember, 63 jewel, and this is with 3 summons left. Look, as soon as you specify mining for a knight, it automatically jumps up to 136. This is just the floor, and that is 1 mint. This is 2 mints. This is 3 mints. So everything relative, 3 mint card, 180. Okay? Or you can go with a 4 mint card because we want to do everything relative. So common to common, right? So common to common is 200. So we go from 63 jewel to 200. That's a big price difference. Let's just call jewel $10 so it's an even number. And 63 is going to be 630 bucks. However, with 200 jewel, that's 2,000 bucks. Why is it over 3 or almost 3 times the price? It's because of the stats that it has. Remember, it has mining, but it doesn't even have boosted strength and endurance. You want boosted strength and endurance. So let's see what a boosted strength and endurance. So you can specify for stats over here. Let's just call it 12 strength. I mean, why not? We'll just call it, oh, actually 13. Let's see if we get any 13 strength cards. Yeah, 13 strength is too much. We might have to do a little less than 12. 12 might register. Look at this. 12 strength is a 900. Okay, let's call it even. Let's call it 11, and then we'll give it how much endurance? We'll also call it 11 endurance. So we'll say 11 endurance. So we'll apply these filters and see what it sells for. So 11 strength, 11 endurance for a knight that is a miner, that is a Gen 0, it sells for 20,000 jewel. Well, if we call jewel $10, that means it's $200,000 for a Gen 0. Just so you guys can understand it, just wanted to break those concepts down to you guys so you guys can see where the value is coming from. Because now you can actually use this, and you can use it to send it off in quests to earn you things. You can, since it's a miner, you can use it to mine a bunch of locked jewel that you have. Or better yet, what you can do is you can take this while you summon, or you can just rent it out to someone, and it's pretty lucrative to rent out. I want to leave you guys with this last example. If you guys played RuneScape, do you guys remember the Santa hat or even the party hats? Like, they were just holiday items that were given out for free. But yet, some of them sold for like 40 mil or 30 mil. It was so hard to get 1 mil in the game. I remember once you hit the 1 mil party, it was like, whoa, dude. The numbers, now it just says 1M instead of K. This is like game changer. And then you're like, oh, dude, this is so awesome. And then whatever. So the point is this. In RuneScape, if you saw a guy with the Santa hat and you were in the wilderness with him, you ran. Because he was going to wreck you. He would kill you, like, real quick. Because you knew he was like an OG. He was sitting there, running there with no armor, with a little dagger. And he would just destroy you. Because, like, that's how good his levels were. And he was going out there flexing with a Santa hat. And that's what some of these people will use these NFTs for. If DeFi Kingdoms takes off, similar to like Axie Infinity, people have some of the mythic Axies. And they just hold them. Whether or not they are that much different than others, they just hold them because it's flex power. They got a bunch of money and they got nothing else to do with it. That's how it holds up these floors. It's a hard concept to understand, but people use it as a digital flex. Just like people in the real world, they use a Rolex or a Rolls Royce, but yet a car is a car is a car. So what's the difference? Well, the difference is it's being able to say, hey, look, I'm on a high status. I'm pretty successful because I wear a Rolex and I drive a really nice car. So in the digital world, you can't flex. The only way you can flex is with a CryptoPunk, or in DeFi Kingdoms, it would be with a Gen Zero hero. Like, just do this. You go into the Discord and just be like, bruh, I got a Gen Zero. And they're like, oh, snap. How'd you get that? And I was like, I just minted it. I just paid the initial 2,000 Jewel when it launched. And the point is like, it's just the flex. It's just like the OG. That's how you can understand it. But yet, these are a little bit different than something like a CryptoPunk. These actually are able to be used and make you money. You can use them to summon different peoples, or like little Gen 1s, Gen 2s, whatever, and you can sell those cards and get your principal back. And then you have a free Gen 0 hero. This Gen 0 is able to mint as many of the NFTs as it wants. Of course, there are cooldown periods. There's different things you need to understand with it, but that is the feature that differentiates a Gen 0 from a Generation 1. That's why a Gen 0 can sell for so much more compared to a Generation 1. And then you have something like the Ninjas, or the Dragoons, or the Sages, or even the Dread Knight, which is like on top. It's extremely hard to get it. So that's why it sells for so much. So the TLDR on this is, if it's really hard to get, that's why the price sells for so much more. Remember the Santa hat in RuneScape? It sold for so much money. It's because there was a limited amount of them. If you weren't around playing RuneScape in 2004 and being the OG, well, you didn't get the Santa hat. So you'd have to pony up and pay some money for it. Remember, the item was free. It's the same thing with these Gen Zeros. I'm not saying the Gen Zeros were free, but you were able to mint some of these Generation 1s at a way lower price. And Jewel was trading at a lot lower. So you can do all this at a lot lower price. I mean, if you calculate the terms back when they did the launch, Jewel was trading at like $1.50. So 2,000 Jewel was what? 2,000 bucks? 3,000 bucks? So you can understand that. Now it's like 50 grand. Just so you guys can understand that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys understand the value and why the Gen Zeros can trade for almost up to $200,000 now that we went through this video and showed you guys what's on the market. Of course, that's what the listed price is. That doesn't mean it's going to sell for that, but I have seen the other Gen Zeros actually sell for $75,000, $100,000. They've actually sold to someone. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's go ahead and leave you guys with a wisdom one-liner. We're going to go in Proverbs chapter 15, not 14, or I'm sorry, 13. We're going backwards. That's how we roll. We're in 13 verses 1. So in 13 verses 1, a wise son heeds his father's instruction, but a mocker does not respond to rebukes. It's important to understand. I know sometimes I fall short of that, but a wise son would listen to what his father says, especially when he's rebuking him and explaining something to him. Keep your ears open. You got 2 ears and 1 head and 1 mouth. Just make sure you guys listen to what other people are saying, not just your father, and make sure they're actually credible figures. So don't just listen to your friend. Listen to someone who's actually there that loves you and wants to help you. How many people in this world actually love you and help you? Well, not very many, because just do this. Take your friend out, go out to eat with him. Say, I forgot my wallet. He pays for your meal once. Second time, that dude, as soon as you go to that restaurant, he'd be running. He'll be in the bathroom when it goes to time to check out, because he knows you're going to pull that, I forgot my wallet. Just think about it. Does he really love you? Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you in the next one. So I'm going to sum it up lastly. Again, I'm actually going to talk to Puppy the mic because it's cool. Man, I feel so weird holding this. Anyways, so the reason why the heroes sell for so much, especially the mythic, is because this. If you remember, let's just say you're summoning from a common card. You have a 1 in 200 chance of getting a mythic card. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be a Paladin. It doesn't mean it's going to be a Dragoon. It's not going to mean it's going to be a Ninja. Now, that is a 1 in 200 chance that you're going to get a mythic, any card, not just the Dragoon, just any card. Now, after that, you have to factor in, now, what if you get the Dread Knight, which is the guy on the very top? Now, you have a chance of getting the Dread Knight, but it's very, very slim. Now, you have that super slim chance of getting the Dread Knight. And now you have the super slim chance of getting that mythic, like super slim. So those two have to correlate. Third, what has to correlate is, well, when you get the Dread Knight, you want to have him good at what he's specialized in. So say, for example, it's mining. You want to have him good at mining. So there's another chance, or slim chance, that you get someone who's mining. Now you have all three of those features. Now you need the fourth and fifth feature, which is if you're specialized in mining, you need someone good at strength and endurance. So let's go ahead and make sure we get that. So that is another specification. So you got to have to get the mythic, you got to have to get the dread knight, then you have to get the mining, then you have to get strength and endurance. And wait, there's more. Because if you're using the sage and the dragoon, now you only have 3 chances to do that. Because you already worked your tier up, you got your little ninja, you got your summoner, and now you have your sage. You're all happy. You're like, what the snap? I got a sage. This is so cool. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, so now you have 3 chances to meet all those requirements to summon the Dread Knight. So again, now you're talking about a lot of money because in order to rent these guys, it's going to be like 500-600 jewel. And how much is that? Well, let's just call jewel $10. That's about $5,000 a minute. You're just throwing darts at it, hoping for the best. That's where the value comes in these because it's so hard to get them. And people realize like, oh, dude, if I can get it, I'll rent it, and then I can possibly get this Dread Knight. That's why people are going into it because they realize the value. They can mint something like that once they get the Dread Knight, and it's like, what the snap? I made it on top. This is so cool. I got the party hat. I got the Santa hat and RuneScape. Like, well, what up, bro? Like, it's that type of gig. So again, that's how difficult it is. Mythic, 1 in 200 chance. Getting the Dread Knight, like extremely hard. Like you guys see, there's only 3 for sale. Only 3, and they're comments. They're like doo-doo squirts. Like no one wants them. I mean, that's why they're for sale. But yet someone will buy them. And you have 3 chances with that summon. So it's not like you can just try each and every time. No, you got to work your way back up that ladder. Again, if you fail after those 3 times, you got to start the game over. It's like the old school Mario. You have 3 lives, or even Sonic. You have 3 lives. Go through all the levels. You get to the last level, you lose all your lives. You got to start all the way over on level 1. Yeah, I beat Sonic. Sonic was the game, man. We're talking on the Genesis, man. It was like fire sauce. It was so cool. Literally, it looked similar to this game, like the pixelated art. Actually, it wasn't as good. But anyways, guys, just wanted to sum that up so you guys can understand it. That's how difficult it is. You literally have to meet 5 or actually 6 different requirements, and you got 3 chances to do so to get the Dread Knight. That is if you have the generation 3. Now say you summoned it with someone who had 5 summons. Now say you summon it out of someone who had 4 or 3 summons. Well, now you only get 2 chances. Say you do it from 2 summons. Well, now you only get 1 chance. And if you guys want to jump in the Discord, there's a link in the description below. It is that Patreon link. And basically, it's just going to be more exclusive content, stuff I don't show on YouTube, strategies I'm playing in the market, and well, DeFi Kingdoms. There's a bunch of private videos in there so you guys can check it out. Thanks for tuning in. See ya. You guys can also catch me on tweeters. It's at rent a home fast, like literally at rent a home fast.